Part of our role as a police service board, we're responsible for ensuring there's adequate and effective policing. We engaged an engineering firm to do a couple of reports for us, and we found that the facility really wasn't functional for the needs of a modern police service. The building was built back in 1986 and opened in 87, and at that time Sarnia was not yet amalgamated with Clearwater Township. The facility was built in an earlier era for a smaller population. This building was built very solidly out of concrete and does not allow for a lot of renovation opportunity. Things are quite cramped here. Less than 4 acres is not sufficient, and so we're looking at a property that's going to give us a little bit more room.
This building came about as a result of a lot of discussion back in the late 70s and the early 80s. At that time, we were at 170 South Front Street. It became apparent over those years that as we were growing, the city was growing, we needed more space. At that point in time, it's because it was new, that was state of the art. We didn't have internet. Typewriters were still the norm. We were actually using carbon paper at that time. When we took the building over in 1986, we thought we bought a new gun range. We find out it was purchased sometime around 1950 and was sold to us as something new. And it just narrowly fits what the province has mandated. Over the years, as the city's grown and everything else, this building has become smaller and smaller and smaller. It's like working in a fishbowl. These guys deserve better.
There's definitely been a lot of challenges with this building. When it was first designed and built, I don't think computers were in anybody's mind. When you design a server room, you have to look at the special needs for what a server room is. We have so much hardware in such a small space that we've had to install 2 more cooling units to just maintain it. If it was done properly, that could be done through, ideally, its own separate HVAC system. We don't have that capability. We do need quite a bit more space to allow future expansion as well as just maintaining what we have.
When this building was first built, there was a minimal amount of women who worked here. Our locker room is a hole in the wall. It's very cramped. It often smells of sewage due to the sewage pit behind the women's locker room. The lockers are extremely old. There's no ventilation, and most of the lockers are not big enough to hold all of the equipment that the officers need.
Well, the bones of the building aren't too bad. However, all the mechanical stuff, everything else is very, very dated. Can't put a ton of money into an old facility. It just doesn't make sense because some of the stuff's not compatible unless you do a complete retrofit. We're busting at the seams. Everybody's on top of everybody. There's no room for anything. Everything's out in the hallways, and parking is a major issue here. People are parking all up and down Water Street, all over the place. There's no room here to expand on anything.
One of the most significant challenges that we face with this building is the cell block. This building was built in 1987, and the standards of the cells have changed significantly since that time. We have 6 cells. We are lodging well over 6 to 7 prisoners per day. A modern organization would have far more cells to be able to accommodate the number of prisoners that are brought into the police organization. Prisoners are brought into our Sally Port, and currently our Sally Port is a one-way in and a one-way out. A modern facility would have a pull-through Sally Port, which doesn't require backing out or a backing in. Furthermore, our Sally Port doesn't even accommodate the size of our transport vehicle. So anytime that we're going to transport more than 1 prisoner at a time, we have to take them outside of the building into the parking lot of the police station, which is an insecure parking lot.
With the identification current setup that we have, we've essentially run out of space. We're no longer able to bring any vehicle in for any sort of examination. We're obviously in an outdated facility and an outdated setup. Currently, we're working out of one common bay area, which limits a forensic officer's ability to work on more than 1 case at a time. An ideal environment would have its own contained ventilation system, as we use various chemicals, fingerprint powders within this facility.
The current building right now, the way it sits, we've outgrown it as a police service. We have new units that require certain officers, certain technology that we just can't supply in this building. We have more people that are coming in to perform roles that we just don't have office space for. This building itself, the amount of upgrades we've had to do to just to patch it together with duct tape and prayers and gum, we need to move forward into something new.
The demands on a police service to provide adequate and effective policing comes with a price tag. We have to keep up with the standards of a modern police service. So in order for us to provide adequate and effective policing, we need budgets to align with those services.
Modernization in a policing context doesn't mean buying all the new shiny things. What modernization means is that our officers and our staff have the tools they need to deal with the issues that we are encountering today that are also the issues that our community is raising for us to address. Behind the scenes of this modernization is an infrastructure that is needed to support technology. As our community evolves, as our community grows, as things change, as they always inevitably do, we need to grow and evolve with that. Our tools, our training also has to change, as does our facility.